What's up, everybody? My name's Captain Tyler, and I'm going to explain to you the challenges and the steps that I took to get my captain's license. This is my captain's license, my Merchant Mariner credential, and it was a challenge. Let me tell you, the Coast Guard is very, very thorough and very strict with your application process, so it does take time. But I can help you cut that time in half if you do the right things, take the right steps, and do everything the right way. And they don't actually explain it all perfectly, so it's almost impossible that you're going to get your application in and out without any errors unless you watch this video. So I'm going to go ahead and explain all these things. Stay tuned, and if you're looking to get your captain's license, it's a very good thing to do. So I'm going to go ahead and open this guy up. Here's what it came in: U.S. Department of Homeland Security in this first class envelope. I've been waiting on this for about 2 months. I've been waiting on this so I can get started running my charters. Okay, let's see. That is a pretty serious envelope. Woo! There it is, my Merchant Mariner credential. That is pretty awesome. There I am, right there. Captain Tyler Stephen Baruch. I'm very, very proud of this. So I'm looking at it for a second. Alright guys, so the first step to getting your captain's license is realizing why you need one. If you need a captain's license because you want to have one, I mean, it's a heck of a process to go through just for that title, but I guess you could do that. So I mean, if you're running fishing charters, if you need it to, captain a vessel, yachts or whatever, I'm sure there's hundreds of different reasons to get a captain's license, but first you need to know why you're going to get it. Step 2, you need to take the test. You can do an online course. I did mine at Mariner's Learning System, and it was very good. So it's an online course. You have to go through all the online modules, and then you go to a testing facility where you take the Coast Guard exam. And it could be that test company's exam, but it has to be approved by the Coast Guard. So make sure you go through a legit company that's Coast Guard approved, so you know you're not going to waste any time or money on a false test, because I know a few of those are out there. So I did mine through Mariner's Learning System, and it took me, I was in a hurry to get my captain's license because I was ready to start making money running charters. So I did it as fast as I could. I whipped out my course in about 2 weeks. I'm sure you could do better than that if you're really, really trying, but I did mine in about 2 weeks. I finished the course, and then you have to apply to take the test at a facility. So I did that, and I passed it first try. It was not easy, but it's very, very doable if you can just study and pay attention to the course modules and do everything right. It's not that difficult of a test, but not easy. So make sure you study. So that's step 1. Take the test. Pass the test. Step 2, you need to go through all the requirements on the Coast Guard's website. If you type in Merchant Mariner credential, the Coast Guard's website will pop right up, and if you find Merchant Mariner credential, there'll be a list of things that you need to do, and I can actually go through that list with you right now. Give me 1 second. Okay, so here we are on the U.S. Coast Guard's website, National Maritime Center, and all you got to do is click on Merchant Mariner credential there, and then here you go. You got the how to apply for a Merchant Mariner credential. Step 1, TWIC card. Step 2, submit complete application. Step 3, transit from RAC to NMC. Step 4, application evaluated. Step 5, credential printed. Step 6, credential mailed. Sounds easy, right? 6 steps. No, it is a lot more difficult than that. So if you scroll down from there, you will see the steps to apply for an original MMC. And those are the actual steps. But it's a lot more complicated than it looks again. So I'll go ahead and explain each one of those for you guys, so you won't make any mistakes when you are applying for your Merchant Mariner credential. Step 1, determine the officer and/or ratings that you wish to obtain. Specific requirements can be found on these checklists. So basically, if you're going to be, if it's your 6-pack license, that's OUPV. I'm not sure on the rest of them because that's what I was getting, but you just need to make sure you know exactly what officer and ratings you're wishing to acquire, because you have to put that on the application. Step 2, obtain a transportation worker's identification credential. I actually have mine. Let me go get it. Step 2, like I said, obtain a transportation worker's identification credential. It's also called your TWIC card. Here's my TWIC card. So the transportation worker's identification credential, you go through the TSA to get that. So if you want to figure out how to get a transportation worker's identification credential, just type in apply for my TWIC card. There should be a location near you that you can go in, and you pretty much just it's like $100 or something like that, and you just pay them, and then bam, you have a TWIC card. They'll mail it out to you. It's very simple. I think you might have to pass a background check or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but you just, step 2 is get your TWIC card. It's not hard. You go to the place, you get it done. Step 3, fill out the Merchant Mariner application. So it's a quick and easy application, but you got to make sure you put everything correct on there. Step 4, if applicable, fill out the CG719 conviction statement if you have any convictions against you. I do not. I have a clean record, so I don't have to worry about that. Step 5, fill out the CG719K application for medical certificate. So that one gave me some issues. Also, if you have any questions with any of these steps, you can actually call the U.S. Coast Guard. There's a help number. Once you go to the website and click on Merchant Mariner credential, you can click contact, and they are very, very helpful. They're there Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, available to answer all your questions when trying to obtain your credentials. So they helped me a lot. I recommend calling and asking those questions right off the bat to avoid any of these issues. But one of the things they didn't tell me about that I had issues with was step 5 with the application for medical certificate. So it's pretty much like a Coast Guard physical type thing that you need to take. You need to go to your primary care physician, and they're going to check, I don't remember. They check your vision, they check, your mobility, they check your just overall health to make sure you're able to run a boat safely and effectively. So one of the things that they didn't tell me about is the color vision test. So my primary care physician did all the things on the paper just as it was said, and then when I applied and I've been waiting on my captain's license, I called them and they said that there was additional medical information needed. And then when I asked what was the additional information so I could get to work and figure it out, they said because of HIPAA laws, they're not allowed to talk about it over the phone. So I had to wait like a week to get a letter from them, and then I had to figure out what the letter meant, and it pretty much said that the color vision test that my doctor used didn't suffice to the Coast Guard standards. So I had to go and find a vision specialist, I forget what they're called, ophthalmologist, that had to run a series of eye tests on me to make sure I'm not colorblind, which obviously I'm not colorblind, but the Coast Guard required a very specific type. So when you're filling out that medical certificate, every part of it's pretty standard, but that color vision test, make sure you get one of the approved ones. The one that I used was not approved. They have a list of them on the sheet, so check that out, make sure you do it right. Step 6, optional third-party release. Yeah, I didn't need that. Step 7, the drug test. So you need to go to a Coast Guard approved drug testing facility to get your drug test. It's not hard, just make sure you call the Coast Guard number and ask if the place is actually, all you got to do is call the drug testing facility and ask if it is Coast Guard approved, or what did they call it? Department of Transportation drug test. It's got to be like a DOT drug test. So Department of Transportation approved, not Coast Guard approved. Step 8, you got to pay the fees. It's very simple. There's a link right here in the steps, and you pay, it's like $125 or something like that to get your Coast Guard license. Step 9, fill out the CG719C service, if applicable. So for me, this was, you have to prove that you have the hours on your boat. You need a few hundred hours. I forget the exact number, but you need, it says it right in there, you need specific amount of hours running or captaining a boat. In my case, I've owned boats for the past few years, so I was able to just prove that I had the boats, and you have to state which days, how much hours per day that you're running your boat. And that part went right through. I didn't have any issues with that part. So yeah, step 10, obtain relevant training course certificates or assessments. That's the Coast Guard test that you need to take. Like I said, I went through Mariner's Learning System, but there's several ones you could use. Step 11, submit all your forms, photocopies, and supporting documents to the Regional Exam Center. I just emailed it right to them. I went to Staples, had them scan it all into one document, and emailed it right through, and they got it, and I got the email that they got it. But like I said, I did have issues going through the process, and the main thing that I had an issue with was that color vision test, so make sure you don't screw that up and do that right. Anyways, guys, I hope this video helped you out. Make sure if you have any questions, just call the number, the Coast Guard number, and they're very, very helpful. They'll answer all of your questions. So good luck on that test. Make sure you study hard, pass that test, and good luck with any of your captaining endeavors in the future. Thanks again, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and we will see you in the next video.